Welcome to the Lead Up. I'm Hattie B, cultural strategist and founder of Men's Solutions. Today's episode is deeply personal, profoundly necessary, and a bit heavy because we're talking about how to protect your sanity when you're working under a leader who refuses to hear your hurt and is blinded by pride. This is for the folks who are tired, the ones who tried to speak truth with grace and been ignored, the ones who swallow their pain to stay professional, and the ones who walked into meetings hopeful and left out pretty doubtful about their self-worth. If that's you, I want you to know you're not crazy, you're not too sensitive, it is not your anxiety, and you're not overreacting. You are experiencing the emotional weight of being unseen by someone who holds power over your livelihood and your well-being. So let's talk about what does that do to your spirit and how to care for yourself while navigating it. Let's talk a little bit about how to expand our comfort zone. When the leader in question knows better, when they look like you, when they say all the right things to support your sense of psychological safety, but when it comes to your lived experience, they shut the door. You speak up about harm, they call it a misunderstanding. You express how a comment made you feel, they label you emotional or difficult. You name a pattern of exclusion, they defend their intent and never address the impact. This is not leadership. It's pride in disguise. And when pride leads, people suffer. Being dismissed by someone in power, especially when you approach them with vulnerability, is a form of gaslighting. It erodes your confidence, your peace, and your sense of safety. So how do you stay sane in the midst of this madness? How do you protect your humanity in a space that refuses to honor you as a human being? So let's talk about a few strategies on how to protect your peace. First, anchor yourself in truth. When someone refuses to acknowledge your hurt, it doesn't make your pain any less valid. Write it down. Document what was said, reflect on it and how it made you feel, because your experience is real, even if leadership refuses to recognize it. Secondly, build a circle of trust. If you can't be seen by the person above you, make sure that you are surrounded by people that you love and will pour back into you. Community is not just healing, it is essential for survival in spaces that diminish your voice. 3, set boundaries without apology. You do not owe endless access for your emotional labor. If your voice is consistently dismissed, stop over-explaining. Reclaim your power. A boundary might sound like, I've shared my perspective and I'm not going to continue defending my experience. 4, choose self-preservation over self-betrayal. There comes a point when staying silent becomes a betrayal of your own worth. If the environment refuses to change and begins to chip away at your health, your joy, your identity, and your peace, it may be time to consider other spaces. Your peace is not negotiable. So let's talk a little bit about some thought-provoking perspectives. Let's be clear. Leaders who are unwilling to hear your hurt are not strong. They are fragile. It takes real strength to sit in and be held accountable. Pride says, I didn't mean to say that. Humility says, that wasn't my intention, but I see how it can impact you. Let's talk about it. When leadership chooses pride over accountability, they prioritize their ego over your experience. That's not your fault, and it's definitely not your problem to fix. I want to leave you with this. What does honoring your mental and emotional well-being look like when leadership refuses to see your pain? And what's one boundary you need to reinforce to protect your peace? Write it down, speak it out loud, and remember, your sanity matters more than their comfort. Thank you for joining me on The Lead Up. If you're in a space where you feel unseen, unheard, and undervalued, please know that you are not alone. You are worthy of spaces that honor your humanity and not just your labor. Until next time, let's mend hearts, shift mindsets, and protect the peace we deserve. Take care.